Okay, then we are ready to start. Welcome everyone again, and in this session I'm gonna do some live coding by using Angular2 and then Angular2 for single page web application, Tyk for API gateway, and then Auth0 for identity management platform. So how this work actually? We are using Tyk API gateway in order to provide a sample gateway to our internal microservices, right? Since you are exposing these microservices to the outside, you need to put some authorization and authentication layer within this API gateway. This is very behavior of the system. But again, there will be some question about how we can provide an authentication system here. Here, we can do several things about the authentication, but in this session, we will use OpenID Connect. So in order to get a brief introduction about the OpenID Connect, let me provide you an example article for this. You can have a look at this later. I am pasting it in the chat. You can have a look at the architecture at a later time, but simply we will use OpenID Connect authentication system within our Tyk API gateway, and then there needs to be some issue about this OpenID Connect protocol. So Auth0 will provide this strategy for us. Let's start with API gateway first. Let's say that I wanna create an API, and this API will provide me some UUID generation endpoint. First of all, in order to play some stuffs with the API gateway, again, you can have a look at this cloud. You can search on the Google with the cloud Tyk, so you can directly create an account for you, and then apply lots of things here, like APIs, keys, policies, etc. So I will use cloud Tyk environment for this session. First of all, I will create an API. Let's say that this will be UUID service, and this has an endpoint UUID. There is a website. This is very useful website called HTTP bin. So you can see lots of endpoints here, and you can use this one in order to test your implementations. Here, I am saying that whenever you made a request to this endpoint, this context path, it will be automatically proxy to the backend side, to this endpoint, this destination URL, right? And at first, I will not use any authentication layer here, so I am saying open keyless. This endpoint will be insecure. There will be no authentication layer here. After saving this endpoint, let me click edit again. You will see some full endpoint here. I will copy this and then paste here. As you can see, there is a UUID generation here. Whenever you click, you will see different kind of UUID on the response. It is very simple. Okay, this is an open endpoint. So what about the authentication side here? In order to put an authentication layer here, you can select between the options here. We will select OpenID Connect here, but before that, let me select this one and update the API first. When you do this, you will see that key not authorized. Why? Because you put some OpenID Connect authentication system there, but there is no key you provided within the request, right? So this is very natural behavior. I will create a policy in order to apply my OpenID Connect protocol. Let's say that this will be OpenID policy. By default, while you are creating your OpenID policy, you need to provide your API definition. So there is only one UUID service. Here, I will set my expiration time, like do not expire key, because the expiration stuff will be handled by Auth0. So let me create. Yeah, access, right? You need to add this one, right? I select, but not added. Sorry for that. So we are about to create our policy. Yeah, we have one. Go back to the API again. Edit. Here, we need to pass some parameters. So what is the issuers, clients, and policies here? So the issuer is a person that makes actual OpenID architectural operation here. So we will go back to the Auth0 dashboard. So you can create an account for you on the auth0.com website. And after you create an account, you will be able to create some tenants here. Tenants means something like project or domain. You can think one of them. So I have created a tenant here called Chloe Webinar. Once you create a tenant, you will see a default application here. When you click on that, you will see domain here. So I will copy this one and then paste it here. So this is my issuer, right? You need to select the policy here. I select it, and then you need to provide your client ID, because in order to communicate your API gateway with the Auth0, you need to pass some credential, right? So this is my client ID. Please do not try to hack me. So I will delete at the end of the webinar. So yeah, so we have an API. It is restricted. You need to provide a key, and then so we have no key still right here. So this is the general overview of how we create an API, how we match our policy with APIs, and then you need to apply your policy to the entire OpenID Connect protocol. So let's create an Angular application in order to do some UI thing, right? Okay. Now I will create an Angular project. So I assume you have already installed Angular CLI. So when you say ng new, let's say that Tyk Auth0, it will try to create a project that contains some Angular specific libraries inside. Once we create our project, I will open my Webstorm and we will start coding. There will be some installation stuff during the live coding session. So if you have a question, you can ask. I can happily answer your questions. If you don't want to you can also put in the chat. So it's still trying to download. Okay, let me continue the overview of the Auth0. So here you can rename your application according to your needs. And then you can put your logo here in order to show them right in the login box. Here, this is a single page application, so you can select this one, single page. This is the important part. You will get some authorization codes within the Tyk login system. So once you successfully finish your operation, you will be redirected to some destination that you provided here. So once we finished our Angular application, it will be served on the port 4200. So we will provide this URL here. This is the callback, or you can say something like callback, whatever you want. And this is the allowed origins. That means you can restrict your request to these endpoints by using some origins. So the expiration time is the time that your tokens will be expired after this time. So this means 10 hours, right? So we will save these changes. Yeah, so we are done with the project installation. I will open this project by using Webstorm. So let me open this one. So here our application. Let it index entire code base. So we will use some Auth0 integration. So as you can see, as you may understand, we need to install some Auth0 related packages here first. Our first package is auth0.js. This will be used for opening some login page in order to go to Auth0 system. So, okay, we have added this package. I think we are ready to serve our application within the web. In order to open our application, you can say ng-serve. This command will transpile our TypeScript code base to the native JavaScript, so it will be able to compile known by our browsers. When you go to this one, you will see our application. So our application is up. We are ready to use some endpoints with the time. So within this kind of application, why do I need an Auth0, right? Let's say that our application tries to contact with some restricted endpoint for like this. But in order to call this endpoint, you need to provide some key to these URLs. First of all, let me do some code in order to get some authorization code by using login page. The first part will be like this. We will create an authentication service here in order to isolate all the authentication related operations. So ng generate service, I will say providers/auth. This will create a service, and then we will be able to write our code within this service. When you have a look at here at providers, you will see authentication service here. It is very easy to add our Auth0 dependency. Very easy. Just import our package here from the Auth0, and then we will add some Auth0 related operations here. Before the constructor, you can grab this one from your Auth0 dashboard. As you can see, this is very related to your account, client ID, domain, response type. For example, when you try to log in to the system, you will be redirected to the Auth0, and once you do a successful login, you will be redirected back to your domain again. And what field do you want to need here? So that was the field that used in the response time. Okay, we will use this one as a callback, and our scope is the OpenID here. Let me write a simple login function here. Login. And here I will say this Auth0 authorize. Okay, it is compiled successfully. How can we go to this login URL? Let me provide an example here. Let's say that once this application is loaded, we can run a function here. For example, in the constructor, I will provide auth service as a dependency. Say that auth service, and this will be auth service. So we just injected our auth service inside the application. Just auth service dot log. So I think we have a dependency problem here. Let me have a look at that. No provider for auth service. This is a very common problem. Let me add this inside the module here. Inside the provider, I will add auth service. Okay, as you can see, once the application component is loaded into the system, you will be automatically redirected to the Auth0 default login page. As you can see, the name here is same here. Okay, and then since you have not provided any logo here, you will not be able to see your logo. This is the default logo, but I think there is a problem here. So what is that? Let us try to find that again. So what? There is an unexpected problem here. Let me try to find it. There is nothing wrong here. Default app, or you know. Okay, I will try to find it further. There is some technical problems. It is not saying the exact exception there, so I need to find it myself. So if, by the way, if you have a question, you can ask, I can answer during finding the root cause. Yeah, because of the allow origin, let me check. I am double check this problem. No, actually, the allowed origin is correct. There is no problem there. All of the information seems correct. I will try again because maybe there may be some temporary problem with that. I will switch my tenant to Gloria webinar. The same. All of the fields are correct. Yeah, that was a temporary problem, not caused by us. So here, as you can see, there is a default login box here, but you can do several things here. You can remove or populate, increase these social media integrations like this. Within the settings, go back to the yeah, add-ons, connections. Here, within the connection, there is only Google. You can only use username, password authentication. That's why you see there. So I am disabling this one. Once you disable this and refresh this page, but let me open from scratch. Yeah, you will not be able to see that login again. So there is a sign up and the login part here, but I will not try with the sign up part. So let me add some users right in the our dashboard. Let's say that this will be sampled, or what else? Test. And then the password as you desired. This is for username, password authentication. Okay, I will provide this one. Yeah, you have a user here. And you can do lots of things within your user information, user metadata. There are lots of things here. From which device your user logged into the system. You can see the history, locations. This is very good information. You can see the heat map of the user login system. Test@gmail.com. Once you try to log into the system, you will see that your default application tried to get your information here. So is it okay? Yes. Is it okay? It is okay. So we are a logic problem here. We are always using the same URL. So whenever you go to this one, you will see this pop up because it always tries to go to login page. So how can we handle that situation? Let me briefly explain that to you. We will extend our auth service for the for some operations there. Let me open the our auth service first, and then we will add some authentication checking mechanism here. First of all, once you log into the system, you will come back to our domain, right? For example, we can do some login check here. For example, public handle authentication. This will be some void method. Let me do this. Okay, here you will see auth0. Within this function, there will be two response. One of them is error, and another of them is auth result. Within here, we can do our check, right? So we will check first the auth result. Okay, there is no problem there. And then we will check our auth result for the access token. And then we will check our auth result for the ID token. If this is the case, there is no need to go to the login again. This is some boilerplate code, but you can ignore that for now. So auth result. Once if you logged into the system already, you can set your session, right? But else, what we can do here, we can say that, okay, just console log error here. What about this set session function? Let me implement a body for this. So basically, this will take our auth result, right? And then this will be something like void method. Within this function, we will the first thing will be the expires at for our token. So as you can see, we have access token and ID token here. We will use ID token in order to use within our request headers to use during the API calls. Here we simply get expires in from the, but this will be in millisecond, and then we will get some get time. Once we got this information, we will simply set some local storage value. The first one will be access token, and this will be auth result that access token. And there will be two more. Another of them is ID token, as you may know, ID token. And then the final one is expires at. And then this will be expires at. This is our set session function. There will be logout also, but for now, we will not be able to implement this one. So instead of authorize directly, maybe we can do something like this. Within the app component HTML, we will put some button here. Let's say that there will be another li component, and within this component, we will add input type button. Within this, we will have some value. Let's say that login. But this will change according to session value. Once user click to this button, it will call a function called login, right? But when I check the app component TS, there is no login function here. So I will add public login. Within this function, we will have which one? Auth0 login, right? So I'm removing this one. Okay. So once we go back to here, you will see login button here. When you click that, you will be redirected to this one. If you already logged into the system before, you will see this one. When you click that, you will be redirected to this page, right? So what is actually this system contains here? When you have a look at here, it is very simple. We will have some access token. We will have ID token. So is there anyone here that already made an integration with the APIs by using JWT? I mean JSON Web Token before? Anyone? No one? So yeah, okay. So once you made a login by using Auth0 and Tyk, you will have ID token within once you got back to the your system. In order to be sure, let me clear this one and then re-log into the system. Okay. I think we have redirect to the callback endpoint, but we need to change that. Okay, and then we need to change this. Since we have no callback endpoint right now, I don't want to add this one. So I will change like this. Okay. So here, it is the time that we want to handle our Auth0 handle authentication. So once you go to this main page, you will see the ID token, the access token, and expire at is saved to the system. That is very simple. So once you log into the system, you will see logout button instead of login. It is very UI specific functionality. We can already add that, but let's focus on the API call part. Okay. So let's say that we have UUID service, right? So we need to add another service here. Let's say that UUID. Okay. Again, in order to use this one, you need to add this within the providers. So I will add UUID service here. And within this function, I will create a function called, let's say that get UUID UUID. We will use observables in order to set up such an architecture. So let's create an example for this. Observable will grab return type. So observable, let's say that for this time, this will be any, and then we will write our implementations here. I will import, okay, here. So in order to make HTTP request, we will use HTTP library. It is called HTTP client. Comes from Angular. Here we will use return this http.get. So you will add your response here, right? So you need to provide a generic here. I will say any, and then within this function, you need to provide your API URL. I will say that API URL is some string, and the value will be something like this, like we defined within our API. So this is our API endpoint. Also, you can say that this is our API endpoint, base endpoint. That's I think, yeah, I think I didn't change my script engine, but okay. Here I will use my endpoint API URL and then / what was that? UUID, right? Here I will directly return this get UUID function. How can we use this within our component? Let's try that. So once you load your application main page, you will get something like this: generate UUID. Within here, you need to add your service first, right? Let's say that private UUID service, UUID service, and then simply you will say this.UUID service and get me some UUID. So this returns an observable, so you need to subscribe on that. Once you subscribe, you can say that, okay, generated UUID will be something like this. What is that? Let's say that there is a parameter here called UUID, and this is empty at first. And then once you got the UUID response, you will say, okay, this UUID will be the value UUID dot, what was the value from the response? I think it was UUID. Let me check again. HTTP bin.org and UUID. So I need to fetch that one. Okay, that is very simple. And so we put a variable here so we can do a two-way data binding, right? Let's say that I will put, this is title and hello title, and my UUID is this one. Unfortunately, at first, we will see nothing there. And also, we have some problem. Let us check that. So HTTP client, right? We need to check module in order to see HTTP client. So in order to do that, we need to add HTTP module inside the imports. HTTP module. Where is it? So it should work at first. What is the problem? HTTP module, where is it? This is correct. Let me restart the application and see. I think the problem is, no, that's correct. No. Provider. I will search this one from the internet, but it should be provided within the yeah, it is. HTTP client module and then provider session. HTTP client module. Yeah, okay. So at first, we will see nothing. UUID is, this is an empty string. So what about the XHR request? So we have declared our function, but not used anywhere, right? Generate UUID. After handle authentication, maybe we can call our this dot generate UUID, maybe. As you can see, we got key not authorized, right? Because in the headers, you can see there is nothing. There is a GET request, but there is nothing in the headers. So in order to do that, normally we are using interceptors in order to do such a things. I will provide an interceptor here, but you can see on the internet also. Let's say that this will be token interceptor. You can also put this one within the providers. I will say that this time it will be different. Some directory interceptors. And within this one, I will say that token interceptor TS. Within this one, I will add this interceptor. There is no need to the router, but let me check this one. So here, it is very simple to understand this strategy. We will add this interceptor. Sorry for that. Where is HTTP response here? Okay, let me rephrase this one. Yeah, this. So whenever you make a request on your backend side, this token interceptor will be executed like an interceptor, as you may use within the Java or other. For example, in Node.js, you will see middlewares, or in Golang, you will see middlewares. In PHP, you can see dispatchers, and also here we can use the interceptors. So how can I enable this interceptor within my project? In order to do that, you can go back to the application module there, and then you can put this within the providers. In this provider, I will say that, okay, there is one auth service, there will be one UUID service, and finally, I will have this one. This is the HTTP interceptor, comes from Angular core, and then this token interceptor will become from my implementation. So where is this get ID token? Let me rephrase this one. So these ID tokens, there is no such a function, right? Let me create this one. So here I will simply return a string, right? And then let me remove this one. Okay, and then here return local storage get item. We will grab the ID token, as I said you before. This is very simple. So within the token interceptor, you simply stop the request and then put a header called authorization with a value bearer space and the ID token here. Okay, let me restart the server and then see what's going on here. Token interceptor line 31, so where is it? Okay. So we have also token interceptor right now. Let me check if it works or not. I will not use any router related stuff right now. So instead of this, I will say that, okay, console error. Okay, and then here I will remove router. That optimize the ports. No. we need to add some static imports here, like this. Okay. I think we are all done here. So as you can see, in order to make a request, it is trying to make an options call first. So in order to allow this kind of request here, you can go to your API and then enable cross-origin request sharing, allow credentials. And for the origin, I wanted to provide all of the origins and which methods here. I can do a get method, some options, and that's all. I will do this one. Let me update. Okay. So where is our get request? We can see our analytics in order to do that. So let me go back to the here again. It is able to make a request to this one, but there is no get. Let me, okay. Here in the advanced section, again, advanced options, I will provide some headers here. For example, authorization header, add or accept, add content type. This one. Yeah. This time we are able to provide our bearer token here. And once we are getting forbidden, so key not authorized. This case seems is not authorized. So let me relog into the system. So I will do this one. I will make an implementation for the logout and see what's going on there. There will be some other button here, logout. Logout here. So in order to do that, I need to implement a logout function here. Logout is for, we will simply remove the local storage and then that's all. Here I will say that local storage, no, not this one. This out service logout. We need to put an abstraction within the by using our services. So public, just the local storage remove item. First one will be access token. And there will be two more. One of them is ID token and expire at. So okay, as you can see, there is a null request to this one. Let me log into the system again. It is not accepting our, let me refresh the page again. So why not accepting our request? Not authorized. Again and again it says key not authorized, but why? I already implemented this one. Let me search this. If this would be an on-premise, I was able to clear all the keys, but here, since it is cloud version, I'm not able to clear keys, so I need to find a way to delete these keys. But let me try this one. I will, in the users section, yes, test Gmail, I will delete this user. Create another, test one. Okay. So I will try. First, log out to the system. Let me try something. APIs. And then use keyless authentication. Update. There is already a UUID here. Delete this one. Fail to load. This access container version header contains multiple values. Why it is 2 times? This is response. But I need to check this one. Let me double check. No, actually, these headers are correct. But why it is returning 2 times? And the credentials also. In a loft headers, to what? On Tyk API gateway, I already provided the a loft headers here. Let me put only authorization. Oh, same. Yeah, credential gone. So what about this one? Yeah, I think I was always using the type on the Kubernetes. So in this cloud version, I think we need to disable this one because it is duplicating the result. Maybe I can also add this OpenID again and then see what's going on. OpenID. I need to re-add these details in the clients settings. Let me grab this one. Here, so your client ID will be this one. Policy will be OpenID policy. Date. I think this time we need to re-enable. Once you put your OpenID Connect, you need to re-enable this one. So it is not accepting our authorization headers here, but until now we have gone well. For example, let me provide you an example here. I will do this within the private browser. This is an application that I have already done on the production environment. So once I logged into this system, as you can see, I have, as you can see within the request, I am sending my bearer token, and it is successfully accepted by API gateway. This already uses API gateways. But when I use cloud version, it is not able to accept my requests. So there may be some problem here with the cloud version, but I will create a ticket for this on Tyk website. But if you got the point, correct point here, let me summarize this one, So we have used this Auth0 as our identity management platform. So this will be the issuer of our OpenID Connect protocol. We have used API Type Gateway for managing our APIs and put authentication layers here. Very simple. And then we have developed an application by using Angular2 within our frontend project, and simple integration handled by using Auth0 JavaScript clients. So if there is no question, we can stop here. But if you have any question, I can happily answer all of them. Okay, I think there is no question. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have got the point here. So have a good night and see you in next webinar. By the way, we will prepare some near future webinars. So there will be some other topics like Kubernetes by using your local computers, creating clusters, etc. But before doing that, I will prepare a survey in order to choose one according to your votes. So I will be happy if you provide some feedbacks or your votes on this survey. That will be very good. And we will try to provide our experiences that we gain from our customers while we are providing consultancy to our customers. Thanks again, and have a good night. Bye.